And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the XL Tribesmen Podcast. Today, I have a very, very VIP guest. I just bullshit. It's just Cory, y'all. No, I'm kidding. Today, I have Cory Thomas, aka CQ Smooth. If you're following him on IG. You've probably seen his pictures because they literally went viral all around the internet. I'm going to say twice, if not 3 times, you went viral from, some infamous photos at this point. But you had a whole life. You had a whole story before those photos ever came out. And so the entire premise of my podcast is really to get into the story of like how you became a model, so that we can even be discussing those infamous photos, because you had a whole story before that. So, first of all, introduce yourself, tell the people where you're from, and let's get into it.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Again, my name is Cory Thomas, Chicago native, born and raised.
Okay, Chi-Town, 60644.
But yeah, modeling was not something I expected to get into. The plan was...
Oh, really?
Yeah, the plan was to get into acting. So, as you can see from my build, I'm an athlete. I played college football. But oddly enough, I was trying to go from college football, get into the NFL a little bit, just to save up enough money to pursue acting without worrying about being like one of these starving artists. So that was the game plan, as unique as that sounds, because people, oh, you're not like football players? Like, nah, football just kind of like paid for things for me. I don't watch it or nothing like that. So the NFL didn't work out.
It's not crazy. I mean, athletes go to being actors all the time. I feel like once you either decide you want to be done or you get an injury, either one or the two, that's the next progression. You either become an athlete or a sports commentator or just full-on entrepreneur. But that's the, I don't want to say the goal, but it always seems to be the pathway. So no, that doesn't seem strange at all.
Yeah. So I agree. I think the only reason why I saw it as strange is because that was my one goal. Like, I want to go here just to get into this, compared to somebody who goes to that.
Oh, I got it. That was your end goal in mind to begin with, not what happened along the way. Got it.
Yeah, so that's how that happened, and then obviously it didn't work out, which was fine. But I have, and I always brag about this all the time, I have the biggest support group in the world, whether it's like my friends or my family who are like everybody's just one big connected web for me as far as what I need and to push me forward. So my friend group, they were auditions, like, hey, go to this, try this, or go to this, sign up for this agency. And I don't know if I was like mentally just like down in the dumps, or I was like already defeated. But I was just shutting it all down. I was like, no, I'm not going to go, or no, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to do this. And then Shaq had this competition with Wilhelmina and JCPenney's. They were looking for like big and tall models. So
yes, I remember that very distinctly.
Right.
Now, what I did not know, well, I knew this from when I met you in Houston, but before that, I did not know you were there. I knew all the people there. I just didn't know you yet.
Yeah, so I was there,
yes,
trying to figure out what's going on, because everything was just so crazy to me, because I wasn't going to go to that too. But my friend Javon, he was like, bro, we keep sending you stuff and we keep trying to push you. You said this is what you want to do, and you haven't done it yet. So I was like,
Come on, good friend.
Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have did it. I would have just been another thing I shut down. So, I got a plane ticket, went to Texas. I think that was like my first time being.
Oh, you weren't even in Texas.
Oh, I was in Chicago.
Come on, dedication.
Yeah, so I found like a nice little Airbnb that was close. Got a rental car, and then I told you this when I was in Houston. I pulled up, and I actually met Brandon. Brandon was in the parking lot. And I saw Mega Sci-Fi license plate. So I felt a little better. All right, so but we get there, and he has a folder of pictures, portfolio, and I don't have anything. I just thought we were just supposed to show up and talk to these people. Model.
Oh, you went in there empty-handed.
Empty-handed, and I had a piece of to my name. I just walked in, and we door, and it's $1 million bald black dude. I'm like, well, this is pointless. I'm not going to count. Everybody. But as the line was progressing, this guy was taking measurements on the side. So he's like, hey, you guys don't know your measurements. I'll measure you. No problem. So I didn't know what a chest or bust, insane, So I came out and said, can you please help me out? I don't know what I'm doing. So while he's measuring me, he's like, he has these really fancy shoes on. And I was like, hey, you got some really nice shoes, sir. Like, they look really good on you. And he's like, you know what? I appreciate that. They're from Nordstrom, but don't tell anybody because I'm not supposed to be wearing Nordstrom because I'm a national recruiter for JCPenney. Somehow this guy's important. And so he's like, I'll tell you this, if this competition doesn't work out for you, if you lose, here's my card. I still think JCPenney could use a guy like you. So I'm like, all right, bet. So naturally.
Look at that. See, you never know what being nice gets you.
And the crazy thing is, especially now that I am a model and I see so many of these models who are like stuck up or arrogant or obnoxious, it's like it's free of charge to just be nice to people, so it goes along.
It costs $0.00.
And that's it. So I lost the competition and then I emailed the guy. He didn't respond back. And then so I gave up. I was like, all right, well, I tried. And then I don't know, I think I was just sitting in my room like a few weeks later and I was like, nah, I'm gonna email him again. So I emailed him again, didn't hear nothing back. That's cool. And then I was like, every day then. So every day, hey, it's me. Hey, it's me. The guy who said something nice about your shoes, it's me. It's me. Like, yeah, I kept emailing him. And then he finally responded.
Persistent.
Yeah, you have to be. I was like, I have nothing else to lose. I had pay for this plane ticket. I was working at Best Buy at the time, so that plane ticket was expensive to me at the time. So,
come on, my favorite store in the world.
Hey, I still got my Best Buy card maxed out. But he was like,
me too, don't tell nobody though.
So he's like, yeah, I remember you, but I can't work with you directly. You have to go to an agency.
I think your phone is leaning.
Slowly, yeah, I see it too. Slowly,
I was about to say, I'm seeing more of the ceiling and less of you.
I don't know if it's the energy, but I was like, it's slowly getting down too.
Oh, your phone felt that energy.
That's what it is.
Your phone felt that pressure.
So he sent me to Kim Dawson. So they were in Dallas, and he's like, I already talked to him. I already let him know who you are. Just go. So I was like, okay, so now I got to go back to Dallas. So I booked the flight, went back out there. And so they was like, okay, we're going to just take a couple headshots. So just make some poses. So I was like, okay. So I stood straight. And they was like, all right, give us some more poses. So at this point, I'm just like, I don't know what y'all.
You did not hit him with the peace
sign. I was just like, y'all got to help me. And so this dude in the back office, he saw me like screwing up. And he said, oh my God, no, come here. When she says, give us different poses, she literally just means just shift your weight. So we're just literally just shift your weight. And I'm like, okay, just shift
on the left.
Yeah. So they take a couple pictures, and I think before I even got back on the plane, they was like, you know what? I think we want to sign you. And I probably irritated my agent because I asked her like 4 times. I said, you want to like sign me? And she was like, yeah. I was like, so like I'll be a model. She was like, yeah. I said, no. So like once I sign this contract, I'm officially like a model? And she was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, bet. So I signed the contract, and I feel like this was in March of, I want to say 2019. And so I made like this.
Okay.
Yeah. So I made like this big, huge post on Instagram. Like, everybody, I'm a model. I'm excited. Everybody's, oh, congratulations. And then I don't hear nothing from my agency for months. I'm like, oh my God, I made this big announcement. I done told all these people I'm officially a model, and I'm just on the roster. And I think it was August of that year.
Come on, they have my friend sitting on the bench.
I said, man, I'm going to delete this post. I hope nobody see this. I said, just shot the gun too early. So she reached out in August, I believe, and she was like, hey, Nike is interested. They're doing like the big and tall thing now for guys. She's like, are you available? I was like, I don't even know why you were asking me that. Yes, I'm available. Book the flight. And so that was my first modeling gig, was Nike. And according to Nike, what they told me, I am their first big and tall male. So that was a huge.
Oh, wow. Now that I did not know.
Yeah, so that was a huge thing for me, because even when I got there, oh my gosh, when I got there, I screwed up twice. Well, one big time. So as you can see, I played for NIU, and we were sponsored by Adidas for 5 years.
I see. I see.
I wear so much NIU gear because it's free and I've been used to wearing it that I don't notice that it's Adidas. So what do I do when I go into Nike in an all Adidas outfit without realizing I'm wearing Adidas at Nike, which is like a huge no-no. Got an Adidas bag with my clothes in it. And I get to the front desk and the security guard, he's like, "Oh my God, you're so brave." I was like, "Because I'm like a plus size model, or like, what do you mean?" And then he looked me in my eye, he looked at the bag and it said Adidas. I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Can you put this behind the desk?" He was like, "No." He said, "No." It was like bringing like a bomb to the airport. I was like, "Oh my," I threw my bag outside the door. And people were walking by, because the doors are glass. People walking by like covering their mouths and like pointing at the Adidas bag, like, "Whose is that?" And I'm just like, man, I will never get another opportunity with Nike again. I just blew it.
Oh my God.
So I met a guy in there, and I said, "Bro, please." He's another young black guy, so I kind of felt comfortable. I said, "Bro, please help me. Give me some duct tape." And he looked down. He said, "Oh man," he said, "I got you." So I duct taped everything that showed Adidas, and then I got to the actual set, and it was like deja vu. They was like, "Okay, mix up the moves." Again, all I know at this point is left, right, because it's like
Left, right, shifting your weight.
right. It's like, this is what I just learned, so I'm using this.
You gave me an idea. You just gave me an idea for a whole course that I'm going to do. Thanks.
Left and right course. This would.
No, I want to do like an actual posing course.
I think that'd be a good course, because starting out, I think a lot of models pose wrong, where they don't have the right pose, or they go off what they see. And that's really what I had to do for my first few photo shoots. I would watch the other models before me pose, and I would ask them, and fortunately enough, they were nice enough to help me out. Like, "Hey bro, like, it's your first time, you're doing good. This is how I do it, or just watch me." So I think the first models I met, their names was Azure, Dustin, and Josh. And they were like pretty big in their careers at the time too, and they were still like humble enough.
Josh Felix?
No, I got Josh.
Okay.
Asian. I don't remember his last name, but
okay. He's Asian. No, that's not the same Josh.
not the same Josh.
No.
But even with my first time, modeling, I was able to meet really nice people. But I was all
that's good.
Yeah, but
because you a lot of times you find, like, I hear stories about, when you come into this industry, people are like side-eyeing you, not wanting to help you. So it's really great that you did not have that story. Like, people were embracing you. They were willing to help you. They see that you have talent. You just needed to be like directed in the right direction. They were like, "I'll do it."
Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That's what I want more of. Because nobody has nothing to lose by helping you.
And that's what it comes down to with this modeling, because there's been times where like they were helpful to me, but they were also regular models, right? I'm big and tall. It's also been times where like I've reached out to big and tall models for help, and they kind of like, "Nah, you kind of got to get it on your own," like I did. And it was like, sometimes it's like, that's crazy to me, because you might see me as competition, but you have to have enough confidence in yourself as a model and realize there's enough money to be made for everybody. So anytime somebody asks me, even if it's a stranger who DMs me like, "Hey, I see you're a model, what can I do to get into it?" 9 times out of 10, they would not take your information and use it, right? It just goes in one and out the other. But I still try to make sure I give it every time, because I know what it feels like for somebody to be like, "Nah, figure it out," and it kind of sucks.
I think people don't understand that the whole purpose of you getting it out the mud is so that no one else has to get it out of the mud. It's so that the next person, it can already be on the table for them.
Right.
That's the purpose of getting it out the mud. Not so somebody else got to come get it out the mud too. Like, I don't
at that point. I mean, if I can help you out, especially the way I'm built, sometimes I'm more athletic wear or something like that. And somebody may be big and tall, but they're a little bit more fluffier, which is fine. Even if you were my type and I was like, "Man, this guy could be competition," it's not like I'm just going to just cut you off completely. "Yeah, man, these are my struggles. These are my accomplishments. This is what I did. You probably should try to avoid this." I mean, it doesn't hurt, or it doesn't cost to help people. Sometimes
it isn't, because what's for you is for you.
Exactly. And crazy enough, I think, Cam kind of enforced that idea in my head too, because Cam kind of goes out the way. For those who don't know, Cam is another big and tall model. He kind of goes out his way to help people or give people opportunities as well. And I even asked him, like, "Bro, don't you like aren't you afraid that that's competition? And he said the same thing. Like, what's for me is for me. It's enough money to be made for everybody. So I was like, you're right.
That's exactly correct. So you are in Nike doing your first opportunity. So I know a lot of times for models, right? I know a lot of times y'all take photos and sometimes y'all never see them. Like, because where they're being used is not somewhere you know where it is. Or so first of all, did you ever see the photos? And then if so, where was the first time you saw them?
So with Nike, I didn't really understand how long it took for you to take a. You might take a picture right now, and it could be for wintertime, right? So you wouldn't see that.
Yes.
So they wouldn't give me any updates or any expectations. I was literally checking the website like 4 times a week. And then the funny thing about it, and I kind of make this joke all the time, is like when you go on a Nike website, it's different now. Now, if you go to Big and Tall, like you'll see me front and center sometimes. But during that time, I was like an unlockable character. So like you'll see like some little small guy in like t-shirt, and then you would have to go to size and hit 3X, and then like I pop up. So
yeah,
now I have to like, man, you remember like, okay, so what outfit was I wearing? And then I have to go find an outfit and then hit the unlock me button and be like, okay, here I am, screenshot, and then post it to Instagram. So
what's the unlock me button? What's that?
Well, that was just my joke because like I said, you.
Oh, I just. Oh God, I just got it. When you go to the outfit and you hit the 3X, you unlock yourself.
Small, skinny white guy, and then you hit it, and then it's just me, and it's just like,
oh,
no,
oh my God, oh my God,
yeah.
Y'all, if y'all don't know, Cory is funny. Like, oh my God, my stomach hurt from Houston. Just so you know,
It was a fun experience surfing the web, and, like find my pictures. But like when it was Kohl's, it was kind of different because a lot of people, shop for Kohl's in like magazines and things like that. So I think that's what kind of started people like, oh, I know you. This is Cory. This is like Father's Day sale, and then it's like, okay, so this is Cory. So now that I'm working more, they start to see me more. Like, oh, I was just shopping on the app, and I seen you, or like, good job, bro. You really are showing us how to do it as a bigger model. You're giving us the confidence to do it. So it feels really good when like your family or friends, see you on websites as they just browsing or they're just in a store and just be like, oh, that's my friend Cory, and they'll send it to me. I'm like, oh, that's kind of dope. So that's like a really fun experience as far as like modeling goes.
It really is. I mean, I too feel the same joy when I walk into my favorite store and I see my people modeling. It feels a sense. I feel like I've also won when I see y'all in the stores or when I see y'all. And it's the most, I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if there's still a shock around it, but the most intriguing part to me is like when you show up randomly in the email. I don't know why that's the most intriguing part, because you're not expecting to see people and then when you do, it's like when I saw you on the when I saw you on the Nike email once, and I was just like, oh shit. That's Cory. I don't know why it has that effect, but it does. Yeah. And I think every time I see it, I think to myself, how many young guys are opening their email right now, seeing themselves for the first time. Every single time, there's going to be a first time someone's seeing themselves. And I just think about how far we've come and how much more we gotta go.
Right.
And I'm thankful for where we at, but I know we got work to do. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate these brands for finally starting to embrace us as viable customer options. Like, we've been worth it, but I'm glad y'all finally seeing it. Thank you. So, all right. So we at Nike, we did our thing. what's your next shoot? Like, what does that look like for you? Because now you've gotten a little bit of, you got some help. So what's your next shoot like?
So the next shoot was, I think it was Nike again. They had brought me back out.
Oh, Nike said you did so good, we want you back.
And I was honored. I said, bring me back out. And
you didn't win no Adidas this time, did you?
No Adidas. None of
Okay, good.
I can find. And they were getting more comfortable too because they would recognize me. Because the first time, everybody was like, "Are you security? Are you?" I was like, "No, I'm the model." They're like, "Really? Yeah, I'm the model. I'm not security." The security guards have shirts that say security. But it was more confident.
You could be plainclothes security.
Huh?
You could be plainclothes security.
Yeah, that's true. I get you. I mean, I'm used to it. Anytime I wear black, people just think I'm security. I mean, that just comes with the territory. But it was definitely a lot easier. Nike has a really chill environment. They make you feel at home. I remember one time I was getting my beard trimmed a little bit, and the guy, I guess he wanted to trim it down some more. And like one of the head women like came downstairs. She's like, "What are you doing to his beard?" And she was like, "Do you like your beard that low?" And I was like, "Honestly, I kind of like it how I am. But since I'm new, I'm like, whatever makes you guys happy." She's like, "No, we want you exactly how you are." She's like, "Don't touch it. Like, leave it alone." So at that point, I'm comfortable with Nike and I'm starting to feel good. The poses are getting better. I'm still watching.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, that's when I went to Kohl's. And it was like, I had to start over because Kohl's is more...
They have a different environment.
Yeah. So like when Nike is just like, give us like fierce, give us athletic, give us strong. Kohl's is like, give us smiles, right? We want more smiles. So for right. So for a time, I would go back and forth from Kohl's to Nike or Nike to Kohl's, and I have to like reteach myself. So I go to Nike and I'll smile, and they're like, "No smiles for this." I'm like, "Oh crap, I forgot." Then I go to Kohl's and I'm frowning. They're like, less intimidating, more happy. I'm like, okay, so now.
Right, I get it, because every company has a different culture that they want to express through their photos. So having to learn and unlearn that every time you get on the shoot, yeah, I could see that.
That was different. And then I went to Oregon for Columbia, and that was just different than both. I'm thinking I'm going to be in some setting, some room. Man, Cory, we drove out to the Redwood.
Yes, Columbia does on set, and that's my favorite shoot. My favorite shoot is on location.
Really?
Yes, I love on location shoots.
It was a fun experience.
My favorite thing to do.
I just wasn't ready for it. I said, "Oh, we really hiking and jumping across like rocks and ponds and stuff like that, and there's spiders and bugs out here." So they was like, "Yeah," and it's like for lunch, handmade sandwiches and stuff like that. I said, "Oh, this is the real earthy vibe." I said, "Okay, so this."
Columbia gets in the mud. Yeah, I love it.
Literally. So yeah, so that was a whole new experience for me too. So at that point, I was just very grateful. And then like the pandemic hit, and then I didn't model like that entire year. So I'm just like, well, there goes like my career. And then it slowly started to pick back up in 2021, and towards the second half of 2021 and the first half of this year has just been like huge for me. So like with Fenty and things like that, just really getting into me being like a model, and this is just not like something I'll do occasionally, like taking it serious like as a model. So it's
okay. All right. So now that we've made our way into Fenty, so I want to know now. There's an infamous shoot, but before we get to the infamous shoot, I want to know: was that your first time with them?
When I did that, yes.
Oh! So this is on first shoot. They got you.
This is the first shoot.
Okay. So what I want to know, right? I want to go all the way back. So agent calls you, says, "We got an opportunity from Fenty. What you thinking? Go."
I said, "Why are you talking to me? Book it. It's Fenty." So
right,
my mindset. So if I'm not mistaken, she had her runway show, and I was in the running to be one of the people in it. So I was really excited. And then I didn't make it. And then they booked me for a shoot. They had me on hold, and then they canceled, or they went with another model. So at this point, I'm just, man, Fenty keep playing with me. They keep playing with me, but I know it's going to happen. So then my agent came back, and she was like, "Fenty wants you." And it's like, it's official. Like, we're ready to, like, confirm it. So I'm like, man, confirm it. And so she's like, let me just send you a couple proofs and just let me know if you're comfortable with it. And now when she said that,
See, that would have set off my first red flag. Because why? I don't know of any brand that sends proof. So why they did that? It would have been like, hold up now, what y'all trying to do?
I think I was so, I guess, stargazed or mesmerized that it was like Rihanna and Fenty. And I've been on the site before, you know, I've seen the boxers and stuff like that. So like when she was like, I was like, man, I don't need that. Like I don't mind wearing like silky boxers and stuff like that. Like,
right,
it's Rihanna. So I get there, and the very first outfit is the harness. And so I looked at it for a while, and I was just like, I said, oh, Fenty getting spicy. I said, this is spicy. And she's like,
yes, I mean, that harness was spicy.
Yeah, it was. So she was there to style it. She was like, do you need help getting in? I was like, 1,000%. Yes, I do need help getting in. I don't know what this is. And so the harness got put on. And everybody on set was cool. Everybody was friendly. They make me feel real comfortable. But like with me not being somebody who's really showing my body like that, you know, I'm like tiptoeing out, like with like the boys covered and stuff like that. And, you know, it got to a point, it was like,
wait, so at when you model for the other brands, you're always fully clothed.
Yes, except for lately, as of late, I've been doing a lot of shirtless for like Nike, but because I had already kind of built that confidence and like been through the fire doing like the Fenty thing, I was more confident doing it for Nike. So I think if Nike asked before Fenty, I don't know if I would have been comfortable, right? I
got it.
Kind of got pushed into the fire and had to make myself comfortable.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what happened. So at this point, I mean,
yeah. So
you can do anything at this point.
At this point, because like even like I told you, like sometimes I deal with like body dysmorphia, and it's an everyday battle. You know, loving yourself, having the confidence. You know, sometimes I feel like I look great. 10 seconds later, I'm like, man, you look terrible, right? And it's just a mental thing you have to fight. So when I'm in the harness, I'm like, man, this is about to get out. You know, I'm a Q. The guys gonna see it. My family gonna see it. You know, my family old school. And then all I told myself was like, man, it's Rihanna, it's Fenty. And then, you know, this is a gig. This is me moving to the next level as a model. This is going to give me the exposure that I wanted. This is going to give me the confidence that I needed. So I did it. So after the harness, after I kind of like put my hands down, they kept like, put your hands down, you know, like just be comfortable.
Wait, you was doing one of these numbers?
I was definitely coming out like this and coming out like, and then like some of the stuff was like my cheeks was out, right? So when I had to turn around, I kept looking back, like they was like, just look forward. I was just like, man, all right. But like by lunch, I was like, you know what? You know, I'm in it. Let's do it. So I got my confidence back, and it was just like a good.
So these shoots are. I just want the audience to get a understanding. See, what they don't understand in modeling is you don't just show up and take one picture and go home.
No,
like you're there for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah. So sometimes,
and you got to look like you just got there every shot.
And a lot of it is on the people on set, depending on the vibe that they're bringing, the photographer, his energy, the music, and of course you as the model. So you have to make it fun, right? You have to remember why you're here. You know, just the experience of, you know, it's not too many opportunities where people are paying you the money that we getting paid to take pictures of you, right? So you just have to embrace it and enjoy the grind, right? So after I left, same thing with my first shoot with Nike. I was checking like every 3 weeks. I said, man, it's dropping soon. I said, as long as like my aunts, my uncles, you know, they don't see it, you know, I'll be good. So I think maybe it was like November or something like that. I'm not sure. I got a DM on Facebook at like 2 a.m. from some girl like I didn't even know. She's like, is this you? I said, okay, it dropped. It's time. So,
God damn.
Yeah. So after that, that's when it went viral on Twitter.
Yes, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, and then so I have a friend who's gay that I used to work with. He's like, Cory, you are the talk of the town in my group message. I said, what you talking about? And that's when he sent me the link to the Twitter. And that's how I knew. I said, oh, it's going crazy on Twitter.
You were the talk of the town in a lot of group messages. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that's another thing, like as a model And, like, happy Pride Month, of course, to all of, like, my followers who support me, who are, in that community. A lot of my friends, they was like, well, how do you feel when, like, guys were saying that about you or something like that? And I will say, like, when I first started out as a model, I was like, man, it's kind of like, I will say, I was like, man, it's kind of weird, or it's just not something I'm used to. Like, but years later, and like who I am now, it's like, man, a compliment is a compliment. They're just showing support, they're just showing love. Some of the comments were, a little spicy, but I mean, it is what it is. But for the for the most part, it's support.
I hate that part. We talked about that. I hate that part, but
it is what it is. I appreciate, the support and the love. And, a lot of the guys are saying, like, I never would have had the confidence to, like, order that, but I just ordered it or something like that. Or, like, I appreciate you for taking the effort to take that step for a lot of us bigger guys. And I was like, well, that makes me feel good. Some guys like, I just ordered it because you had it on. You want to see? I was like, nah, I don't want to see, but, I'm glad you had the confidence. I'm like, but so it just comes to, like, maneuvering and, learning how to, like, speak to your audience. And yeah.
You want to see? That's going to be the name of this. Going to be the title of this episode. You want to see? Oh my God. But yeah, no, I mean, I too appreciate, honestly speaking, I too appreciate the step that you took. Although I know what it came with, like personally, and what it came, like all the, in your personal life. But I do appreciate the step publicly because, I mean, I too would never have worn any. I mean, I don't know if I still would actually. Well, maybe if I was getting spicy with somebody, but like personally, but like I would never buy that though. Like that would have to be something that like my partner would be like, he wants me to wear, and then I would wear. But like that's not something I would
off the top
purchase on my own validity. But I do. But that's the step that I appreciate, that I even thought about it, because those things aren't new. By the way, for the audience out there who are like not familiar with, fashion, nothing Cory was wearing is new. That's been around since the 70s. So it's just my being put out to mainstream culture, but none of that's new.
Yeah.
Just like people wearing hoochie daddy shorts. Gay's been wearing that forever, but now everybody's wearing it. It's a thing now, but we've been wearing that shit. I've been wearing those shorts all my life. So, whatever. But, so, what I want to know, okay, the spicy picture comes out, you're getting, like, literally, you went viral 3 different times. From now, I learned the one shoot, but because she dropped them at different times, you kept going viral every time a new spicy one would come out.
Yeah, it was on a Wendy Williams.
So,
like, oh.
Say that again?
It was on a Wendy Williams show, too. That's when I was really like, oh, my goodness.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I did not know you made it to the WW show. Yeah. Okay.
And they put like a little black box like right there, but they made like the black.
That's how you know.
But they made it kind of long though, so I was like, I appreciate that. Shout out to them for helping the brother out with the long. But no, I'm joking. But I'm joking. But yeah, it was.
Sir, this is a G-rated show. No, I'm fucking with you, but. So making it so that is literally the exposure that, for better or worse, unfortunately, the way it works in our industry, all press is good press, even if it's bad press, honestly. And so even though that's what you went viral for, but that still helps your career. So what I want to know is like, what's some highlights that have came out of that, notoriety from doing those spicy photos? Like, what's something that you're like, I mean, your Instagram blew up. I knew that.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, I gained like 4,000 or 5,000 followers over time. It was just like rapid. And I was very grateful for that because like I always wanted to get to the point where eventually my Instagram can be something maybe lucrative for me, right? So working with brands and things like that. So that kind of definitely gave me.
Come on, you better burn the candle at both ends. You better get both these checks.
I am, but so that boosted it for sure. And then I believe I ended up working with another company, and they said they kind of found me through what they saw on the Fenty site. So it's like,
look at that.
exposure that I needed. And I'm working with new clients. And it also made me a lot tougher because like some of those outfits, like I said, with me being like a Q, like it being in the group chats, me having to argue with certain people or like defend myself with certain people or family members or even like the negative comments, right? Because people aren't used to seeing like big guys in lingerie. They're not. Even male lingerie as a thing isn't really, I guess, that popular, right? So it was a lot of positive, feedback from, male men, women, whoever. But it was also a lot of negative too. Like, why would he wear that? Or he looks like this. And it's one thing to see it from strangers, but it's another thing to hear it from like friends and family. So
yeah,
I kind of appreciated that too because it made me tougher, right? I can't expect to be as big as I want, and I can't take, criticism or people being like mean. Because man, one time this lady made a comment, and I saw it, and I was about to add her, and me and her was about to get into it, and I was like, you know what? Like, what would be even the point of like doing something stupid like that? Especially with me trying to build a brand and a name for myself. Why would I be going back and forth with like a complete stranger? It's just stupid. So it definitely gave me thicker skin. And at the end of the day, the family that mattered and the friends that mattered, 100% supportive. You know what I'm saying? And I truly appreciate them for that because again, there's people there's taking these pictures just to post it or just to have it. But it's like, man, I got paid for this, man. Like this is my job. This shows the progression of me, as a model. So hopefully it leads to maybe me being on the runway for her this year. I know I just did a campaign with her with Fenty and at the end of March, and I think that drops in August. So that was really huge, and I was really excited about that. So the work has been coming for sure. So that was a huge turning point in my career. So I was very
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I feel like one thing it does is set the bar that you can do anything personally, and then what it sets the bar is that we as big and tall men can do anything. Because I think the most jarring part about it wasn't even that. I mean, at least for me, I must speak for me personally. The most jarring part about it wasn't even that you were a straight male. The most jarring part about it is that you were a big guy doing it. I think that's what it was for people. So now, because you literally like you shook shit up. So now when the next person comes along and does something else, showing our bodies, it won't be as
right.
It won't be like that because it'll be like, oh, it's just a guy modeling. So I really appreciate you taking the crawling so that we can walk and the next people can run. Okay. So now, well, we already got into the spicy photo, so y'all know about the spicy photo. So now, what I want to know, and you already told the story about it. So what I want to know is there any photo, you don't have to say the brand, but is there any photo from any brand you ever took that you're just like, I hope that never comes out because I look terrible? Not because you're like self-loathing yourself, because it's actually like, oh, if the world see this shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You know what? I think with all the brands that I've worked with, man, it's been at least one. Now, I think with the Fenty part, it was more because like I'm more naked than anything. So some of those pictures, just like you said, is me just being a critic. But even then, like it's certain websites, and I'm not gonna say which brand because I don't want y'all looking. But it's like, man, why did they use that picture? Like I've screenshot myself. It's like I'm in the process of like smiling, but I'm not, so it looks awkward. And then it's just like up there, like on a website, and it's just like, man, like why is this up here? Who dropped the ball on this picture? But again, like when you're your biggest critic, sometimes you.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. So sometimes you could just be. So you know what I do with those things when I'm overly critical? I sit on them, and I make it a mission of mine to go back to it. I'm gonna say 3 to 6 months later.
Oh yeah.
And when I'm in a different mindset, and I'll look at it again. I find that every time, and this is like personally, like my own personal photos, and this is also the photos that I take. I go back to look at old photos all the time, and I'll find photos that I thought were just trash. that I absolutely love. And what I came to love about them was the same thing I hated. It was the imperfection. So it might have been the half smile. It might have been like you moving your hand, but the hand is blurry. But I don't know. Now I'm seeing it more artistically and less critically. So give it some time. Go back to look at it next year and see how you feel about it.
Yeah, we're gonna go back next year.
Yeah,
a couple more months. Yeah.
So now we're gonna get into my I have an icebreaker game I like to play.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, when was the last time you felt lit up inside? Like you were excited, you were motivated, you were like ready to take on your dreams? Because your ultimate dream, don't forget, is acting.
Right.
So when was the last time you felt lit up?
It was actually, I want to say 2.5 weeks ago. I had got this call from this agency in Chicago, because none of my agencies are here. They're in Texas, Los Angeles, Seattle. So they were like, hey, we're not just like a model agency, we're a talent agency. Because the thing about getting into acting, your agency typically wants you to be where they are. So if they get you a gig, you should be able to get there fast. So that's been like the roadblock for me. So this agency was in Chicago, and I went out and I met them. You know, they asked me some questions, and the vibe was just really good. They were liking me, I were liking them. And you know, they asked for pictures. They asked me to read scripts, and, you know, just seeing the look on their faces that I'm reading, or, you know, the feedback they're giving each other, that really made me feel good. I was very excited to be able to do that, or at least dip my toe into the acting field, because I think, like you said, the ultimate goal is that, but I've been so focused on trying to grow as a model that is like, the acting part has took such a so far back in the back seat that this has been like my main focus. So that was like, that got me hyped back up to really get back into it and figure out how to, you know, attack acting aggressively. So I was really excited about it.
You know what I think about dreams? I think about dreams this way, right? And I learned this from Tyler Perry. You have to water one plant with your gallon of water until that one plant bears fruit, and then you can take the seed from that fruit and you can go plant other plants. But you're not going to grow anything if you have 10 plants and you're only giving it a tenth of the gallon of water. None of them are ever going to grow. So look at modeling as putting you in the driver's seat. Acting's in the back seat. Modeling is going to drive you onto set, where the model you gets out the back seat and walks on stage.
Facts. Yeah, that's a nice way to look at it. Was that from a Madea play, or that was actually from Tyler Perry?
No, that's Tyler Perry. So Tyler Perry used to do this thing back in the day. He don't do it no more. Where he used to give these motivational speeches every Friday. It would be some personal story about his life. And it's still on his YouTube page. And he used to like do these like Friday things. And one of that story stuck with me, because I too am a serial entrepreneur, and I have a million ideas. I have a million things I want to do, like in this world. Like one of them is very close to modeling. Like I have a million things. I'm always like trying to do 100 things. And my whole life I've been trying to do 100 things, because I thought 100 things is how you get to success. Not realizing that all I'm doing is spreading myself way too thin and never getting any results.
Right.
So when that came out, that really centered me. That's how I landed on XL Tribe, actually, because of that statement. I landed on XL Tribe, and I was like, I'm going to do this until XL Tribe blows up, and then I can use the revenue to do the shit that I like, the other things that I'm passionate about, you know, that are connected to XL Tribe. But there's tons of other things. Like personally, like I don't know that many people know, like XL Tribe is a magazine. I would love to do a monthly issue. It's just I can't do that with me. It's just me.
Yeah.
Right now, and it's hard to like focus on the website, do a magazine, grow Instagram, grow TikTok. Like I've decided I'm just gonna focus on the site, and then we'll grow the other things, when the money comes. So I say that to say you on the right path. I mean, you in the right industry. The right people are seeing you. All the people that do modeling, they do acting too. So you in the right place. The right people gonna see you. Yes. Now I would say though, you should be doing skits on Instagram to really show your acting ability.
That's what everybody says, or everybody, oh, you're so...
Because it's the easiest way to carry out what you're looking to do. It's like it's almost like creating a modeling portfolio, but an acting one.
It is. I think the issue, not even an issue, but like, I'm situational funny. Like, things happen to me, and I feel like when it turns into like scripted funny or my own script, it's like, that ain't really funny. So it's just like, I do have to work on that and play around with it. I actually just ordered like a camera. It should be here like any second, actually. Just
what kind of camera did you get?
They got me to get the Sony ZV-E. I know that's what everybody's getting, but it was the cheaper one for right now. I wasn't gonna buy,
That's fine. Sony's pretty good.
Yeah, I saw your face for it.
Okay. I'm not a Sony guy, so Sony was not set.
In my price,
I'm a Nikon guy through and through, but Sony's a great piece of glass. I don't know if I like their lenses, but they're a great piece of glass, and you can't go wrong with Sony. I mean, it's gonna give you the quality you're looking for.
The next one will be a Nikon.
For people to see your talent, because you're very funny, by the way. Like, I was in stitches the whole time.
I appreciate that.
I don't think that was situational, because situational would have been a one-off. Like, you were telling joke after joke after joke, and then you and Cam together are like. Matter of fact, I should have just had the camera on. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe the thing is, like you said, the scripted. Don't make it scripted. Just turn the camera on and do what you would normally do, and then cut out the parts that you don't like. And I mean, y'all were really funny together.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so that is the plan. So just to try to keep the camera rolling as much as I can, and then just go from there and, build content. Because even like some of my followers, like, you ain't posted in like 2 weeks. And then crazy enough, I'm like, man, I ain't think, like y'all cared. It's like, why are we following you for? And I was like, you know what? You're right. So I'll try to make more content. So I really give a lot of credit to content creators and people like that, because it's not just, oh, I just post when I want, man. It's a schedule. You got to think of the content. And I haven't even like fully, dived into that world. So I was like, man, that's.
I think that comes later. Honestly, what you're talking about is perfecting the craft. That's not when you start. Anybody who starts content creation, you literally start by just posting shit, literally. And then as you go along, you find your way, and then you find the structure that works for your way.
Yeah.
So some people do skits that are written out, like they write them out like a play or a movie, and then they act out the scenes. Some people literally just, the camera's on 24/7. When they get to the editing floor, that's when they figure out what's funny. We're going to keep this. We're going to get rid of this. Not everybody does it that way. And what you're talking about is level 2. So that's what I like to tell people when it comes to creating content. Don't think too hard. There's actually a reel that's going around where the guy says everybody's trying to make content instead of just being the content.
Yeah.
You are the content. Like, the technicality of it comes later. Like, you mean when I first started creating content, like, it was trash. Like, straight trash. I mean, I was recording, half the time you couldn't even see my whole face because the phone was up to the ceiling. But it wasn't, I was just making content. And then after a while, you're like, okay, I think my lane is, like right now, I feel like my lane is doing more like structured creative content. So it's like I'm doing like I like to call it like a fashion series where I'm doing getting readies with me. I'm doing unboxing and then modeling the clothes, right? That's my thing now. But when I first started, I didn't have a thing. I was doing everything, because you literally gotta throw everything to the wall and figure out what sticks. And then you go from there. So don't make it hard. Just turn on the camera and figure out what you like after.
Facts. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so what I want to know is, so you've been officially a model for 3 years now, which actually I did not know. So that's a long periodically time.
I'm like 2. If we don't count the
you want to skip 2020?
Yeah, let's skip 2020. That was a year.
I mean, okay, all right. Three invisible 2.
Yeah, something like that.
Or 3 invisible 1 actually. But what's one thing you wish you knew at the beginning of modeling that you're just now finding out? Like, what's one of those things?
My portfolio. So the biggest thing that I learned. So one thing that I did when I was at Nike, or any shoot where I'm working with somebody else, is I introduce myself. I get to know the models, and I ask questions. I was about to say it's not a guide or handbook for this. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's so much stuff that I
create one.
Right, create one. It's so much stuff I didn't know as a new model that I'm learning through asking. For example, my portfolio. So with me, I'm like, I have Nike, I have Kohl's, I have Fenty. The one time I did, Columbia or Dickies, I'll just pull the pictures from the website and this is my portfolio. And so when I'm reaching out to these brands or these agencies, and it's like, hey, I'm trying to, get more exposure. I need, an agent in this area. And they say, oh, well, you just don't have the look. You're just not what we're looking for at the time. And, it's a humbling experience, but also it's just like, what do you mean I don't have the look? If Nike and Fenty and so-and-so says I have the look, who are you working with that says I don't? But at the same time, when I'm sending my portfolio, it's just pictures off the website. I don't have pictures of me, in suits walking down the street, or pictures of me in the wilderness or at the beach and stuff like that. I just have pictures that they can pull from the internet. And I think that was one of my biggest mistakes, is not knowing that or not asking that. So when people say, hey, do you have a portfolio? Yeah, but it's like, no, this is just like pictures I can get off Google. Like, where's your test shots? Where's your headshots? Where's you in these type of outfits? So now that I know that, I feel like I'm so far behind the game with things like that. Or I feel like when I did reach out to these bigger agencies in like New York, where fashion is really big, they would have took a second look, or at least evaluated it, because if they work with Banana Republic or Men's Warehouse or, these other places, but they just see me in basketball shorts from a Nike website, that doesn't really make myself marketable, right? So now I know,
got it.
Now I know I need to have these suits or be in this environment. So when they see me, they can envision me in the clothes or the brands that they work with. So that is something that I wish I knew out the gate, because I personally think I would have been so much further ahead, as a model than I am now. I still feel like I'm at a good pace, but I feel like I could have been that much further. So now, I'm trying to find content creators or photographers, stylists, and things like that, just so I can start building my book.
Oh, I saw some pictures coming. I feel like they're gonna be good. You were in a blue suit.
Oh, Cam, yeah. So I'm excited about.
Mm-hmm.
See, Cam is a good friend, but Cam is also like a mentor. Even with Brandon, sometimes like Cam was like, no, this is what they're looking for. This is, and Cam is blunt too. So be like, this is exactly what you're doing wrong, right?
Cam is very blunt. My God.
Yeah. But you need that in a friend, because it's like, oh, you're right. I didn't know that. So now let's work with it. Because every time I talk to him, he's like, yeah, I'm about to do this shoot, or, let's do this shoot. And it's like, bro, no. But now when I look at his book of business, or I look at his portfolio, you see him in different type of environments. It's like, okay, this is the difference between him as a model and me as a model. So this is what I need to learn how to do, or get out my comfort zone, or stop being lazy and do this more. So when these bigger brands like Gucci or whatever, when they actually jump on board with the big and tall train, I'll be ready, right? They're not just looking at, plaid shirts for Father's Day from Kohl's or something like that. They'll see me, stuff that they can advertise. So
they already need to see you as a high fashion.
Facts. But if I don't have...
Cam does a very good job at marketing himself that way.
Good.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, that's only difference then in that arena is you setting up the time and getting the photos taken, because you have the ability to do everything.
Thank you. I just need to.
Yeah.
So
just hone in on that a little bit. get you some dope photos, and start submitting yourself to the people that can like push you in that direction. But there's no reason in 2 to 3 years like you're not on a billboard on Times Square wearing Gucci. No reason.
And that's what I'm praying for, and that's why all this year is like, just stack your bread, build these connections with these people, and just put your best foot forward for the rest of 2022. So like you said, when that comes, I have everything set. Here you go. This is me, the full me, right? So not just the G-string picture or something like that. You see me in every element. So
Yep, you can do everything. Okay. Well, tell the people where they can follow you if they're not already following you. I mean, they might be hiding under rocks,
right.
Which.
So if you're not following me yet, follow me on Instagram at CQUE_smooth. You just got that it was CQ like GQ, so hopefully y'all catch the reference. But yeah, so
I did.
yeah, it's all right.
Took me a minute.
All right. But yeah.
It's actually a double entendre, technically.
What you mean?
CQ like GQ, but CQ as in your
A Q dog.
Your a fraternity?
Yeah, that's why it's the QUE instead of just the Q. See you?
I understand. So it's a double entendre.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Come on.
Follow me. I'm
you smart actor?
You see me? I'm a little educated, man.
Yeah. I see you. I see you. You got it both.
Trying.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in for another episode of the XL Tribesmen Podcast. Man, until next time, peace out, motherfuckers.